people come at me, oh, but I can't do this. Stop telling me what you can't do.
Tell me what you can.
Tell me what you can do. And sometimes mums don't know how to find that themselves.
Yeah.
So I might say, have you got some equipment at home? Have you got a space 2 meters by 2 meters? Yes.
Go Kmart, sell dumbbells.
Hello and welcome back to another vlog on YouTube and podcast on Spotify by the Fit Minds podcast. Coach Mariah here and Coach Chloe Jane.
Hello.
Sorry if you can see my baby with a pillow. Sorry, with a pillow on her head. She's not a bit suffocating. It's to keep the light out of her eyes, and it just probably looks really wrong from your angle on YouTube. But we're going to get a ton of hate for this.
Oh, yeah.
I've been getting heaps of hate online lately, haven't I? You can see how sad I am.
I said to you, I was like, how do you deal with that? I'd probably be in a ball crying and rocking.
I mean, originally, yeah, you are, like, in the early days. I used to let shit really bother me. I'd be on the bathroom floor, like, people think I'm horrible, or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't care. I think one of the most liberating things, especially as a woman, is just not caring.
Oh, I can't wait to get to that phase.
Oh, it's gradual, I think. I think just over time you realise you can't make everybody happy.
It comes and goes for me.
You can't be everyone's cup of tea. Yeah.
If you don't like me, you don't like. I'm definitely a firm believer of, like, if you don't like me, you don't like me.
Yeah. 100%. I can guarantee there are people out there that do not like me, and with it, you know, I mean, the most passionate hatred in their heart for whatever reason, and I'm okay with it.
You're like, alright.
I
don't like you either.
Doesn't impact me. You know what I mean? It doesn't change my life. So today's podcast, the topic of today's podcast, is some tips for mums, time poor mums with fitness and nutrition. We're going to keep it nice and short because we know that mums have no time to listen to bloody podcasts. So here we are, just I guess touching base and letting you guys know. I mean, yes, what we do, but it's not always going to work for everybody.
No.
Especially if you've got multiple children, it makes life a lot harder.
Different situations.
Correct, absolutely. So, also sorry if you hear background noise, there's dogs, there's all sorts of things going on. Again, it's realistic. We're mums, we have a lot of shit to do, so deal with it. Sorry.
Mariah's really in her I don't give a fuck phase.
I am well and truly embracing the I don't give a fuck. But so okay, let's start off with, first of all, we hear this a lot. Mums are time poor. Someone's going to start up a mower as well, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, good job. Anyway, we're going to keep going. Oh no, that's the postie. Thank you, postie. We hear a lot. Mums are time poor, right? They're literally saying, "I don't have time for this. I don't have time." It's probably the most common thing I hear from mothers, and also in their pre-screens. What's your problem? Time.
Time, yeah.
What's holding you back? Time. So let's start off with some very crucial tips on saving time with fitness, for example. So your training, your exercise. What are your top tips for fitness and training for mums who just don't have time?
I think a lot of time, women, especially mums who are just starting out, the concept of them not having time associates around them thinking that they can't take time for themselves, right? It's like, I've got to do this for so-and-so, I've got to then take them to soccer, and I've then got to do this, I then have to spend time with my baby, I then have to do this, right?
Continuous list that never ends.
Yeah. And in reality, prioritizing you and your training and your nutrition is the first step.
It's a decision.
In allowing yourself to find the time.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
To be able to do things that you need to do.
And we experience mum guilt, don't we? We do.
Being kind to yourself and allowing yourself to be like, no, I need to do this for me. I need to take a step back. It's going to make me, like, one thing going through my journey is I realized that doing things for myself and prioritizing myself and my health and my well-being made me a better mother.
Correct.
It made me more patient. It made me more understanding.
Yeah.
Because
you got a clearer mind when you rock up. And so part of making time for yourself isn't necessarily going, because, you know, mums would listen to this go, oh yeah, it's all good for you guys because you just, you know, like you've got all this flexibility. It's like, if I really wanted to, I could completely consume myself with my daughter.
Exactly right.
Like, as in, like,
It's a choice you made.
I would make her, and she is, 95% of my goddamn day is my daughter. And obviously there's work, so maybe not 95%. But outside of that, you know, It's like you've got to be okay with thinking outside of the box and thinking differently of the way that you've usually thought. Because if you don't challenge yourself on your postpartum thoughts, or even thoughts with a 5 or 6-year-old or an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old or a 15-year-old, then you will remain where you are in that situation.
Change has to happen in order for change.
Mental change first, correct.
Yeah.
You've got to convince yourself that you can. You've got to convince yourself that you can. Now, your capacity, though, is not going to be the same as everybody else's.
Exactly right.
My capacity has reduced greatly since having a newborn, now baby.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that yours reduced greatly when you had Sienna.
Exactly right. And it comes and goes in waves, right? Their dependency on you chops and changes. Like when
If they get sick.
they get sick. Exactly right. Like Sienna now, she's independent. Like she'll have a shower by herself. She'll
Goes to
dress
the toilet.
by herself. She goes to the toilet by herself. She does all these things, but she's also very clean.
Yeah.
Like she's just started school, so when she comes home from school, she's tired. She's clingy. So it comes and goes.
And you've got to realise as well, like, giving yourself time, even if it's only half an hour.
Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't have to be long.
Even if it's 20 minutes and you're doing... And the other thing is, too, is opportunistic, right? Structure and routine works most of the time for most people when they've got the facilities available. Yes. So they've got children in childcare, they've got kids in school, whatever.
Around them.
They're working from home. You know, it's like, okay, cool. This semantics work. I know a lot of mums who get up at 5 o'clock. Their dad sleeps in, or they might have one of the older children is there, and they go to the gym. And this is obviously their semantic, right? So again, very different per person.
Yeah.
But the situation is, okay, well, then I go to the gym while Dad's at home with the kids. He gets them ready for, for school, blah, blah, blah. And then we basically chop and change and take shifts. So someone does the night shift, which is obviously the evenings and dinner and bathing and whatever.
Yeah.
Having those discussions with the people around you is so important, because otherwise you will begin to resent your entire situation in life very heavily. And as mothers, we go, I'll take that on board. I'll do that.
We put a lot of pressure on ourselves to do everything.
Oh, okay. Oh, no, it's okay. I've got it. I can do it. I can do it. I can pick her up. I could do this. Oh, no, I'll do that. And so there's that kind of like, we think we've got to show up at 110%, but then if we're doing 110%, we're left with nothing, and even in negatives for ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what's the saying? You can't look after someone else unless you look after yourself first. Put the oxygen mask on yourself before you put it on your children.
Yeah.
So we see mothers burnt out in positions where they're not happy with their bodies. They're not confident. They're depressed. They're not dressing in a way that they want to dress. They're kind of covering themselves up. Like it's a very...
that was the epitome of me after I had Sienna.
Yeah. As you said, you went through this phase of pure self-hatred. And I actually learnt from other women and other mothers. Like, I could see myself kind of going down that path in the early phases of postpartum. And I learnt and I watched other mums, and I was like, I don't want to be there. I don't want to be there. I have a very wonderful partner. I am not going to say lucky. I'm grateful for him, because I don't like the word luck. Luck is shit. You make a lot of decisions in your life, and sometimes you end up in great positions, and I would have been in a very bad position in a previous relationship. But I'm grateful I have a great partner. It doesn't always work out even with a good partner. The only time she shit her pants on the way to the fucking gym, I swear to God, like, we have had 4 nappy blowouts in the car seat in a 5-minute drive.
Yeah.
And we've had to turn around. We didn't have the nappies, we didn't have a nappy bag. Like, there's been 3 occasions where we weren't prepared.
Yeah.
But fitness, time. If currently the gym is, if people come at me, oh, but I can't do this. Stop telling me what you can't do.
And tell me what you can.
Tell me what you can do. And sometimes mums don't know how to find that themselves.
Yeah.
So I might say, have you got some equipment at home? Have you got a space 2 meters by 2 meters? Yes.
Go to Kmart, sell dumbbells.
Kettlebells. Even if you just start out with
resistance bands,
a yoga mat on the floor, and you're doing basic body weight freaking lunges and squats, sometimes you can even strap your goddamn baby to yourself.
Well, that's what I actually did. I did a, what is she called?
Not Kayla Itsness.
Yeah, maybe.
Please don't tell me you did Kayla Itsness. It's okay, I forgive you.
I did.
That's right, that's fine.
I did. It was the first thing, and it was during COVID, because I had Sienna during COVID time,
fair.
right? So it was tricky to be able to do anything.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I did that, and I literally went out to Kmart along with the rest of the hundreds and thousands of people, and was fucking fighting to find
dumbbells and equipment. Yeah.
And it started everything.
Oh, so that was where your entire journey started. Some people got fit through COVID. I certainly went through a cut in the middle of COVID. It was meant to keep me occupied, but honestly, that was a really hard time for many people. For mums, you know, they were stuck at home. But if you have a small space, if you've got a wall, you can do wall sits. You know what I mean? If you've got to think outside the box. You can do push-ups on the floor. Much of the time, and I hate to say this, we will, where we're already restricted, create further restriction, because what it does is it solidifies this idea in our minds that I'll just stay where I am and where it's comfortable and where it's not scary.
It's not, exactly. We're afraid of fear.
Yeah, fear, it's really strange, but yeah, fear holds us back from many things in life. And because you've had a change of lifestyle, becoming a mum, your identity has changed, your time has changed, so much has changed, and so all you know is being a mother. And then outside of that, being able to give yourself the time to exercise or even think outside of, you know, oh, well, I can't do this or I can't do that, is hard. It's really fucking hard to be like, you know what, I can do lunges in my kitchen. I can do squats, because your brain...
And it's very frowned upon. Like, I remember when I first started getting back into it, I was in like this mummy's page, and women were horrible to other women.
Who were training postpartum.
Who were
nuts.
Trying to, like, taking the time for themselves. Like,
You're
could
selfish.
never do that. And it's like...
That's why you hate yourself.
Yeah, and it's really tricky when sometimes you're surrounded by that. So I actually ended up removing myself from the group.
Yeah.
Because I was just like... No.
Shaming, and it's awful.
And, yeah.
It's this type of behaviour as well. If I think back to my childhood, my mother, very sadly, stopped going to the gym and stopped exercising as much. She just kind of... And she had the time. She had the time. We were independent. We were teenagers. We were doing our own thing. And I used to say to her, Mum, get back into the gym. Go take some time for yourself. Go to the gym, because I loved seeing my mother look after herself.
Yeah.
And I would actually go to the gym with her as a 12-year-old. We would go and do sessions together.
Yeah.
And I fucking loved going to the gym with her. I was like, yeah, I feel amazing. Like, I loved going for big walks with my mum. I would ask my mum to take me on big walks.
Yeah.
And it's just so interesting thinking back and looking at it. Would I have been upset if my mother had gone to the gym 5 or 6 times a week for an hour? Fuck no.
Yeah, well, it's like I've just had a thought then, right? So if you're concerned about not giving your kid the time of day, so many gyms on wherever you are have creches.
Oh, yeah.
Sienna loves the creche.
Yeah.
She gets to draw, she gets to play, she gets to socialise with other kids. Perfect opportunity.
And the whole job of the person in there is to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Is to be present with and if it's only for an hour slot, it's not the end of the world.
No.
You know, she's in creche already. She started creche at 12 weeks, and I'm sure some mums will be like, "Oh no, I couldn't." It's okay. That's a personal decision. If you don't want to put your child in creche because of getting sick or whatever, we have a fantastic creche. We happen to at our gym. I don't know of any kids that come in with sickness. I know that it's just a politeness not to do that because there's little babies there. But also, like, if you keep giving yourself reasons not to do things, like not to go for breakfast, not to leave the house, you are putting yourself back in that box.
Yeah, you're limiting
for PPD.
Abilities. Yeah.
For PPD and PPA, which we know are so prevalent with women, and you've been, in this situation. I certainly had PPA as well. Like, there was, situations there where it was like, holy shit, like I can't leave my house.
Yeah, because didn't we have that Sydney situation as well? And we were quite fearful of that.
Yeah. So, and it's okay to be afraid. Like, we're not saying don't be afraid of change.
Fear means you care. Like, one thing that I've always been taught is fear means you give a shit.
Of course. Yeah.
And it's about taking that and utilising that and using that fear to push you in the right direction.
Yeah. A little bit outside your comfort zone.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be a fucking humongous jump, right?
No. You don't have to throw yourself off a cliff or anything.
Even if it just means getting outside and taking 15, 20-minute walk. It doesn't have to be at the gym. It doesn't have to involve weights and stuff like that. It's about moving your body and...
And if you're having trouble with your little one, if they're going through a stage where they're really clingy, I highly recommend baby wearing. I've got a beautiful baby wrap that Bubba just adores being in. Strapping to you. Like, the pram is honestly obsolete now. We just don't use it's like it's carries shit around for us, honestly. But it worked for a little while. But I think people say stuff like, I don't know how you do it. You're very inspirational. But trust me, when you've been in pretty harsh conditions previously, you learn how to look for hope and light and ways around things. And a severe stubbornness for climbing brick walls that are built in front of you, just going, I'm not going to settle for that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure out if there is a way around this obstacle here, because it frustrates you so much to the point where then you become a shell of yourself otherwise. So fitness is really about fitting fitness in where you can. Structure is good. Booking creche, having set days that you know are not as busy as others, or the kids are at after school activities, or when they go to sports. I know that mums like to watch their kids doing sports. Cool, awesome. Sometimes it might be a great time for you to duck off and go and get your own exercise. And if they're,
or even if it's like at a field, do a couple laps.
Fuck oath. Like, especially if there's two of you, like if you've got both parents watching the sport, like dad's there, take it in turns. So I'll go to the gym while you're here this time, and vice versa. Or even take it in turns, you've got a partner. Single mums have it the motherfucking hardest. I'm not a single mum, and I know this. I've seen it. It is just so, oh my God, what? And with no support networks or support systems as well, or even with support, you've been in the position of being a single mum. Like, I watch the devastation that occurs, and it is fucking hardcore. But with getting exercise, it's a matter of seizing and snatching opportunities when you can.
And giving yourself the grace if it doesn't happen, right?
Oh, if it's a failed... How many times have we failed this vlogs and podcasts?
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll just go back again tomorrow.
Yeah. If it doesn't happen, reset. All right, we'll try again tomorrow. We'll try again a little bit later.
Try again the next day, the next day, the next day. Wasn't a great week. They were sick. It's fine. Try again next week. If you allow a shit week or a shit day to determine what your entire perception of your whole life is going to be like, then you will see your downfall. Because you're just going to then give into a preconceived idea of what is going to happen, right? Oh, well, it's, stuffed up a couple times, may as well just give up.
Yeah. This is not going to work.
Giving up doesn't get you any closer to where you want to be. No. So I'm a big believer in giving up isn't an option. Getting back up again every single time is the only option. So you just be resilient in that. And you're going to have to try so much harder than the average person. You're going to have so many failed attempts. And it's not even a failure. It's just it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. So that's with exercise. Some structured routine. Making sure you've got some sort of support for someone to look after Bubby or the little ones or whatever. Taking it in turns, rosters. Doing something at home if you can. Using the crochet at the gym if you've got...
I was going to say, if you don't have the support around you, utilise doing it with them.
Yeah, that's right. And even getting exercise with your kids as well. Like, sometimes it's just a case of going, I'll go and jump on the trampoline with them if I can. Like,
I was going to say, run around the park with them.
Run around the park, kick the football, if it's just, seizing those opportunities. And getting yourself into a position where you know that you're not giving yourself too much. As in, not going, okay, well, I've got 5 or 6 sessions I've got to do this week. And then being disappointed that you can't do them.
Yeah. Think logically.
Yeah, I'm down to 3 if I do 3.
Yeah.
3 or 4. 4 would be a miracle week here. Because all sorts of things can go wrong or change or whatever, and you've got to be adaptable as a mum. So be okay with having to drop the ball and going, nah, not tomorrow or the next day. Yeah. But whatever you do, don't let it become something that turns into
a long lengthy thing.
Next month.
Yeah.
Next month. Oh, next year. Oh, when they're 5. Oh, when they're in school. Because it'll never happen.
No.
You'll find some other excuse.
Yeah.
Nutrition tips. What are your top nutrition tips?
If you can, meal prep.
Yep.
Even if you're cooking dinner for the kids, you know, cook with that alongside.
Make doubles as well. Make doubles of your dinner. I can't, rage on enough about that. Make doubles and you got lunch the next day.
Meal prep is not hard. It doesn't have to be complex. You don't have to be cooking up a 5-star meal.
No. I've seen a lot of people say, but I don't have time for meal prep. Meal prep can be done. You just made 10 meals in an hour or something, and you were doing other stuff while you were doing it, and I don't even think it took a full hour.
It was just waiting for things to cook.
Cutting literally chicken breast. You can get pre-cut chicken breast. I know you hate cutting chicken breast. You can get pre-cut chicken breast, pre-done things. You can get vegetables that are in packs. You can get frozen vegetables you don't have to chop. You can get pre-chopped broccoli. You can get rice that's pre-cooked.
Yeah.
You can get potato that's pre-cooked.
Yeah,
You
I've seen that. You just got to jab a couple of holes and stick it in a microwave.
You can air fry potato, put it in the air fryer with no oil.
A lot of the times when it comes to cooking, you're standing there waiting around for it to actually cook.
That's right.
So,
there's something.
You could be getting your kid in the shower.
Mm-hmm. Doing a lot of washing.
There's other things that you can do whilst preparing a meal.
I'm not usually a big fan of multitasking because I've read a couple books that mention that multitasking is not good for you because you divide your attention across multiple things. However, there is a version of multitasking, which we've just referenced, which is doing mindless tasks at the same time. So folding and washing and watching TV. Very easy to do those two things. Okay. So if you think meal prep takes a long time, and if you've got little ones, you're worried you've got something on the stove, it's hot, you don't want them to burn themselves, get some of those baby gates in the kitchen. Kitchen's a no-go zone.
Even, I used to have this, seat thing for Sienna, and I would put her up on the kitchen bench.
Let her watch. Yeah.
And get them involved.
Yeah, absolutely. Cook with them.
Sienna loves cooking.
Yeah.
Mummy, can I help you?
Because you involved her. Yep.
And it teaches them good habits as well.
Oh my God, yes. If you want your children to grow up with sound, and I mean sound, not expert, nutritional, an idea of whatever, the variety of foods, etc. And the rainbows we need to be eating. The preparation of food in a part of that process is incredibly crucial.
There's lots of different utensils. Yes, it may take a little bit longer if they help, but you're spending that time with them, right?
And later on, you might have a little chef on your hands that can help you with meal prep in a few years.
Hey, darling, can you just make me that?
Hey, can you just put together this lasagna for me?
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's an investment. But also with regards to meal prep, make it simple. Keep it simple. KISS, right? All of my meal preps are really simple. It's like lasagna, which is, pretty easy to do, but I like the baked stuff. It's like you just literally chop it all up, put it in the thing and bake it. Like that's it. Tins of things, jars of things as well. Like a lot of people assume that tins and jars are really bad for you and that, oh no, you can't have them because they're nasty. They're processed, they've got heaps of shit in them. It's like if you get a jar of sauce and you spread it out with water like we do, not use, say, 4 jars, just use 2 and then add some water, you're not going to have as many calories.
Utilize your slow cooker.
Slow cooker, yeah.
If you have a slow cooker, utilize it. Mum taught me this really good spaghetti bolognese recipe. Literally just chuck it all in the slow cooker.
Off it goes.
And off you go.
It's like pasta, mince, tin, tomatoes, veggies.
Yeah.
But you do not need your meals to look pretty, for God's sake. If you're a mother, it doesn't look pretty when you're eating it. You probably don't.
9 times out of 10, it's cold.
Exactly. By the time you're eating, it's cold, and you don't give a shit what it tastes like. It's just the sad fact is that a lot of the time, food is fuel as a mother because you're so overstimulated. You're finishing your meal. I honestly can't finish my meal sometimes because she's crying, and I'm like trying to shove the last mouthful in just so that I can, finish what I'm doing and go and attend to her. But making it really easy to eat, right? Rice. I think it depends on what you find easy. If you fuck around, like at the moment you're using wraps and you like them, so why not just do that for a while?
I prepared a tuna wrap this morning and it took me 2 minutes.
To do, yeah.
I had everything. I had pre-cut lettuce, pre-cut tomatoes, pre-cut onion, a little bit of mayonnaise. Bob's your uncle.
Bam. And that's just something that you felt like eating for the week. So you're like, cool, I'm going to have this as my lunches for the week.
Yeah.
Don't overcomplicate it. Decide your meals, on a day where you've got a day off. Just all it is just what I feel like eating this week. Okay. And we've got the recipe ebooks. If you've ever been on my books or in the 8-week journeys, you get 150 different recipes plus to work with. A lot of them are really mum friendly. Yeah. I designed these recipes from the beginning to be things that kids would eat and things that were foolproof. You couldn't fuck it up. Like you really can't stuff my meals up.
Yeah, exactly right.
They're just super simple, super quick, super easy. Even as you mentioned, slow cooker, soups. That's for main meals, obviously. Breakfast, right? It's like if I don't have time for breakfast, we're very quick in the morning, it's on the go. Make it the night before. 10 minutes of preparation. When the kids are, getting settled or brushing their teeth or whatever. Or in the morning, just literally chuck the ingredients into a blender. Blend it and take it with you and drink it.
Yeah.
Fruit. single serves of fruit.
Handheld.
Apples, bananas, mandarins, nectarines. The list, grapes. List goes on. Things that you don't need to screw around with or chop. I've seen mums buy watermelon. I'm like, you're not going to cut that.
It's yummy though.
It's yummy, but you're not. But get pre-cut watermelon. You know, a couple extra dollars. So pieces of fruit. You know, you want to aim for 2 to 3 pieces of fruit a day. And like, if you want a snack and you're hungry, piece of fruit. If you're eating more than that, and you're going, I'm constantly picking at fruit, you need something else.
Giving yourself variety.
Variety. Muesli bars. We think that muesli bars aren't good because they're a packeted item. Muesli bars are amazing.
Yeah.
They've got oats in them. And sometimes honey.
Yeah.
And they're quick.
Yeah.
You can eat them while you're driving. Yeah. You can literally stash your snacks in your pockets. My mum still stashes snacks in her pockets. Nuts and stuff. It's really strange.
Yeah. But it was more like deceitful rather than...
Chocky bars.
Yeah.
But like, you know what I mean? Like mini versions of things. LCMs. Pizza shapes aren't too... Sorry, any shapes, but I like pizza.
Chicken's the best.
Stop it.
Chicken crimpies.
Alex likes chicken crimpies too. You guys can... You sit it over at a different table to us. Actually, I'm just by myself in my pizza shapes. Sorry.
Sienna thinks they're spicy.
All right, guys. You need to message us and let us know whether pizza shapes or chicken crimpies are the OG.
We should put a poll up on Instagram.
No, I don't want to put a poll up. I want messages. I want people to tell me the truth.
I'm going to put a poll up.
Damn it. I bet your chicken crimpies will win. Why do people not like pizza shapes? I understand.
I like them, but I prefer the chicken crimpies.
I feel like you're cheating on me.
And I bite around the edges. And then...
Do you do that with your grapes? Do you peel your grapes as well?
No.
That's weird, hey? I don't do that.
I used to freeze my grapes.
Ah, yeah, and I've heard about... That's another thing too. You can freeze...
Creating fun food.
You can freeze fruit.
Yeah. Frozen oranges.
Yeah, especially in summer, but not obviously now we're in winter. Really, just think of it this way, right? Simple snacks don't have to be things that you know you probably shouldn't be eating a large amount of, like chips and chocolate. Or with the two major culprits, chips and chocolate. We know that, and soft drink, like the stuff that's easy to grab. Yeah, it's easy to grab. There are so many things that are easy to grab that will fill you up for longer. Protein bars.
Yeah.
Protein shakes. I don't particularly like protein shapes, but shapes. I'm thinking of shapes now. Shapes. I don't particularly like protein shakes, but another really easy breakfast. A bowl of cereal with a protein shake poured on top.
That's what I've been doing for the past, I don't know how many weeks.
It is so freaking easy and foolproof. It is foolproof.
Yeah.
And you don't have to cook it. You make it in, I don't know, like if we should time it. 2 minutes. Have you timed it?
No, but
you know it's 2 minutes.
But I'm making coffee at the same time.
Yeah, hell yeah. Honestly, part of our tips from mums is just coffee in bowl.
It's like, sorry, I can't eat breakfast today. I'm making my coffee was my priority.
Yeah, it's one of our major tips is make sure you have coffee in the cupboard. Yeah. So keep it simple. Breakfast if you know you're short on time. Either keep it or really don't fucking start cooking eggs on toast for breakfast if you know you've got to be somewhere.
Save those meals for
weekends. Pancakes for weekends, and then you can make it with your kids as well. Obviously when they're old enough, but and also as well be realistic about how many meals that you can actually fit in a day.
Yeah, it's
like, okay, I've had a lot of mums be like, look, I physically don't have the time to eat 3 main meals and 3 snacks. They're like, cool, can you do 3 mains and 1 snack? The evidence supports, and you'd be aware of this, 3 mains and 1 snack for keeping hunger at bay, and also allowing for more metabolic function and recovery, and obviously protein doses as well, because we can only fit so much protein in our bellies at once. On that note, make sure that your main meals have a source of protein of some sort.
I was going to say, you want to keep your meals well balanced, so a good source of protein, fats, carbs, fibre.
And if you don't know what are goods, because most people don't know what is protein, so we'll just list them off. We've got chicken breast, extra lean beef mince, tuna, steak, eggs plus egg whites, because you need a bit more protein with eggs. They're a little bit deceiving in that way. They don't have a lot of protein. Did I say protein powder? I don't know whether I said that one. No.
Fish, salmon.
High protein yogurt.
Yeah,
any type of seafood really, except for oysters are a bit high in fats, and so is salmon. But
I don't like oysters anyway.
No. Calamari, prawns. But really easy sources of protein that are grabbable. Tin tuna, tin chicken. You can get tin chicken as well. Yeah, it does actually taste pretty good.
You can get I know it's a little bit expensive, but like the rotisserie, either you can get like a rotisserie chicken, take the skin off.
Yeah.
Or Coles and Woolies sell like pre-packaged like roast chicken.
The deli department of Coles and Woolies has shredded chicken.
Mm-hmm.
What they do is at the end of the day, the chooks that aren't used, they shred the chicken and they actually remove the skin and most of the fat. So when you get that shredded chicken, it's pretty dry. Yeah. But then you could add some fat-free mayo and, you know, to a sandwich and off you go. So making sure that you're, you know, setting yourself up for success in what your day typically looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do need a considerable amount of time to eat a meal, because you're like, okay, dinner's a pretty big meal, lunch is a pretty big meal, or breakfast or whatever, reassess what you're putting in that meal as well. It's like, I realised I was eating a shit ton of potato at one point, and as much as I love potato, I was like, to get my calories up for breastfeeding, I need rice. Rice is more calorie dense, and I can have, like, it's not going to take as long to eat as what potato is.
Yeah, well, I actually said that to one of my clients because she's just about to start bulk phase.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, it's about the food choices that you make, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in a bulk phase and trying to get calories in, you're not going to sit there and eat shitloads of lettuce.
Yeah, volume eating. Yeah.
You're going to make those choices to eat higher caloric, still nutritionally dense meals.
And because we know that not every mother has a fat loss goal.
No.
Like, it's like some of us are looking at, you know, increasing our calories, like for breastfeeding or growing muscle.
Mm-hmm.
So in those instances, you want to look at, white rice. You want to look at, you know, so you've got to start looking at the food that you're eating. And if you're overwhelmed by that, because people start to switch off at this point. They go, if they're listening, oh, it's just too hard. It's not too hard. It only takes a lesson to be learnt once.
It's only as hard as you make it.
Yeah. But nutrition is not that complex.
No, it's really not.
And especially once you've practiced a couple times.
I was going to say, once you have a general understanding, and it takes next to no time to get to general understanding, then you're good to go.
Yeah. And I think on the snack note as well, I forgot to mention nut bars.
So be careful with this.
That's right. Nut bars are good. You could probably have maybe one a day, you know, but if you then go, okay, well, I'm only reaching for nut bars, you've got to look at if there are foods that you want to, I wouldn't say restrict, but just keep an eye on how many of them you're eating is the high fat foods.
Yeah, be mindful.
They're calorie dense. They have lots of calories. Peanut butter, be mindful of your peanut butter portions.
Like what everybody says these days, everything in moderation.
Yeah. You've just got to understand what a fat portion looks like.
Yeah.
You know, people are like, well, what is moderation? Well, of high fat foods, very small amounts.
Yeah.
You know,
it's very easy to go ham with fats. A lot of
snuck into everything
these days are very high.
Cooking with oil, cooking with butter, adding butter to your bread. Lots of different sauces are quite high in fats as well. Meats that are high in fats as well. And because fats, if you imagine like oil, you know, a tablespoon of olive oil is 110, 120 calories or whatever. It's that big.
Yeah.
Right? 2 slices of bread for a low calorie bread, or 1 slice of bread is the same calories as a tablespoon of oil.
Wow.
And when people go, bread's the devil, it's like, you just have to understand it's not too different from your car, right? You fill your car with a tank of fuel, it takes you this many kilometres. Imagine if you were filling up your car full of tank of fuel that took you not like 4 times as many kilometres as where you could go with that other type of fuel, right? That's a very energy dense fuel. Yeah. That's what fats are. Fats are powerful, full of fucking energy, take up very little room. Yeah. And so they're very fucking deceiving for how many calories are contained in them. Yeah. So the energy contained in that particular food type. We're going off a bit of a tangent with the nutrition, but nutrition tips, keep it simple. Don't skip breakfast. No. Don't do it. You make stupid decisions as the day goes on.
You get hungry and then
blood sugar drops. And you go and order, a frappe with 6 sugars, and because you're so low on energy because you're not having breakfast or not having protein.
Your body actually craves the sugar when you are low on energy. There's lots of studies.
Not eating enough complex carbohydrates, not eating enough protein.
Yeah.
And you will just go, all right, blood sugar's dropping, and I'll reach for whatever gives me a hit. And then you get headaches and all sorts of awful stuff, digestive issues. So, off the nutrition topic, because we've gone all day about that, water. How do we increase water intake for mums, busy mums, time-poor mums?
I found that I actually have about 7 different water bottles that I rotate through, right?
I don't think you're the only one.
And I found for me personally, getting myself a big, nice water bottle, the use of Diet Right, low sugar, like no sugar cordials. I can chug back 1.1 liters in like a
Mm.
second.
Mm.
I prefer my water icy cold. If
That's right.
not if that's not what you like, then
Entertain your
that's fine.
senses. Yep, 100%. If you don't think about what conditions you like to drink water in, you're probably not going to.
Exactly right. And
I'm-
if I don't have my water bottle sitting with me,
Yeah, you won't drink it.
I won't drink it.
No reminder. No conscious reminder. Some people need alarms in their phone to kind of remind them to drink water. My big thing is either my big water bottle or I've switched to a shaker more recently because the big water bottle is very chunky around a baby. The big pink shaker, as obnoxious as it is, doesn't even go with my home decor. How offensive. I get to the kitchen, I got this
Bold,
big old
right?
pink shaker there, and I'm like, water. And it's like
Yeah.
this thing that goes off in my mind. It says, drink the water. I'm
Yeah.
obviously at home,
Yeah.
but I keep the pink shaker beside my bed, breastfeeding through the night with the feeds, completely full. And so that then I know I can just sip on it right before bed. I've got this, 700 ml, won't be enough for the night, but
Yeah.
it's, otherwise you end up with water all over yourself. Do what you know with water that triggers you to drink water.
And
Try
as a mother,
things.
make sure there's toilets around.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because
Or wear adult-sized nappies. That's a terrible recommendation.
when I drink, I know I've drunk enough water when I'm peeing every 30 minutes.
Yeah, and when you've got a baby lying on you, it's like your bladder is tested, isn't it? Yeah.
All right, pelvic floor time.
Yeah. So, and the reason why we want water is obviously for many reasons, but I've listened to the podcast I've done on the benefits of water. I'm pretty sure there's one there somewhere. If there isn't, I probably need to do one.
An updated one.
But also with water, if you find you're getting mum brain, you're getting fuzzies, you're getting frustrated, you got a headache, you can't think straight, you don't know where to flip, you put your keys, you put your shoes on the wrong feet.
Water.
R.I.P. But if you're getting these feelings, right, and your body is going, I'm not doing okay, right? The first thing you should think of, have I had enough water? How much water have I had today? If you can't remember, have a fucking glass anyway. Can't hurt, right? And the other thing is go by your urine colour.
Yeah.
Right? We all look at our own wee. Don't lie, okay? We all do it. Everyone looks at your wee.
What do you mean? Now, well, obviously you have to when you're fucking turning
When you
around
flush
to flush
it.
the toilet.
I don't know anyone who would close their eyes, but it's gross. Everyone looks at their wee. So, you have no excuse. If your wee is yellow like the sun, you are dehydrated. If it is orange, like an orange, you are very dehydrated. If it is brown, you are so dehydrated you probably need to be put on a drip. Okay, so you've got severe electrolyte deficiencies, and you are that's it. You're beyond help. You need to get electrolytes back into in water. Coffee does not constitute water, for God's sake.
That's not kidding. Josh literally shared a meme with me this morning that was like, babe, how much water have you had today? And she's like, yeah, I've had a decent amount. And it was like water sources, and it's like all these different types of coffee and
sugar-free
tea
energy drinks. Yeah, it doesn't count. But in winter, it is really hard to get your water in. We know this. Herbal teas, I would somewhat say, yeah, look, these are okay because they don't have a high amount of carbohydrates in them, so they will hydrate you. But think about the last time you had water, your urine. Now, to know that you're hydrated, it is a combination of clear and yellow. So you've got semi-clear urine with a tiny hint of yellow in it. Just a
Well, I
teacup.
was reading up on this thing, and it was like, when your body is telling you that you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated.
Correct, 100%. If you're getting those signals sent to your mouth, and we also know that the signals sent to your mouth for thirst and hunger are exactly the same.
Yeah.
So for mums who are time poor, and you find as well that you're constantly snacking, your water is most likely your biggest issue, and also sleep deprivation, because that'll do it too. That'll spike your insulin. Also on a day, for example, that you're trying to fit everything in. You've got exercise, you've got XYZ, you've got to get your steps, you've got to do this. You're trying to make a fucking miracle happen. If you know that's going to result in you getting less than 6 to 7 hours of sleep, and I say that because as a mother, it's hard enough getting that, I sleep in 2 to 3 hour increments. It's a whole another kettle of fish. But if you know that whatever you're committing yourself to is going to do that, take something away.
Yeah.
I would rather a mother get more than 6 hours sleep, then go and do a gym session.
Yeah, exactly right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no part of me.
I had a pretty shit sleep last night. And we had planned to take Sienna to the creche this morning. And she's on school holidays. And my alarm went off, and I rolled over to Josh, and I said, "We ain't going."
Not happening. No. And that's okay. You've got to know what battles are the ones that you want to fight, and know that, okay, this session is probably going to result in injury, sickness, or pain.
Yeah.
Or it's not going to be very beneficial, and I'm going to feel like absolute shit after it.
Yeah.
So, any other tips? Laying out your gym outfit the night before. Wear particular gym outfits on particular days.
Make you feel good.
Yeah, and things that make you feel good. But reduce decision fatigue.
Yeah.
Because we know that overstimulation is a problem. So if you got this outfit or whatever that you wear, that could be a Monday outfit.
Well, it's funny. I know, like, on leg days, I'll wear shorts.
Yeah.
An oversized t-shirt. And
a particular outfit. Yeah.
And then on upper body days are hard because I'm in a bulk at the moment, so I don't feel comfortable just wearing a singlet. But, like, when I was in prep, I had specific, like, this blue bra that I would wear and leggings for my upper body, for my shoulder day, and a different for my back day.
And so when you knew it was that day, you just would grab that outfit and off you go. You didn't stand there staring at your clothes for ages going, I don't know what I'm going to wear. And then you've started worrying about something else and you got distracted.
Yeah.
I think that's probably it for tips for time poor mums.
Exactly.
I don't really think there's anything else that I wanted to add in here. Honestly, cap your sessions at 45 minutes, an hour. If your trainer has done a session that's too long, be honest with them. Tell them, hey, it's too long. Take me too long. I don't have the time. You know, can we shorten the sets or maybe remove some exercises?
Yeah.
And what's awesome as well as, you know, a mother is that you can also communicate to your trainer, it's taking me too long to load up a barbell. You know, can I use this instead?
Yeah.
Because I don't know the last time I used a barbell.
I don't use barbells.
Nah.
And that's because I'm lazy too.
Yeah, but it's a time thing. It's honestly a time thing. We
like, that's taxing. I'm like, I could be putting that energy into the actual exercise itself.
Yeah. I don't want to put plates on things. What are you talking about? Yeah, so on that note, I think that's about it. I don't think I've got anything else. If you would like any other tips as a mum, I don't know what your situation is. Or a dad. I know we've targeted this towards mums, but like, or a dad.
Yeah.
Okay. Please reach out to Chloe or myself. We answer our messages. We are not, you know, it's us behind the scenes there. So we're more than happy to help you. You don't always have to be on our books for us to give you some tips and pointers here and there. We're not going to tell you exactly what to eat because obviously you've got to pay us to do that.
We can give recommendations.
Yeah, but we can try and head you in the right direction, especially if you're on a budget as well. If you're on a budget, you know, there's going to be a lot of things that you can't afford right now that you're not going to be able to put aside the money for. But if you're eating takeaway, if you're eating Uber Eats multiple times a week, even once a week if you're eating Uber Eats, you can afford a coach.
But see, the thing is, though, these days you can get Uber Eats, like Coles and Woolworths.
Deliveries, yeah.
And
you could choose to get some new foods. That's another thing I was going to say. Pre-made meals are your best friend. If you can't meal prep, get You Foods meals, pre-made meals, My Muscle Chef, macro. You can Google pre-made macro-friendly, and I mean macro-friendly because they're higher protein, and that's what you want. Pre-made macro-friendly meals. There are like 6 or 7 different companies.
Is it Macro Papa?
Papa Macros. We had them. They're amazing. There you go. Lunches and dinners sorted, or just lunches.
Yeah. Because that can sometimes be a bit costly, but making that investment in foods that you know that you'll eat, quick and easy.
Microwave them, freeze them, and then microwave them. Yeah. You don't have to do your own meal prep that way. But yeah, if you can afford Uber Eats, you can afford a coach, or you can afford meal prep that will then, you know, you could literally do 2 Uber Eats things, like deliveries for you and your partner or whatever, and that would be the same as getting lunches for 2 weeks for yourself. Yeah. It's nuts. From a meal delivery company. Like, absolutely nuts. Wow. Anyway, guys, we're going to head off. We've got some more content to do, and the baby is stirring. I promise I'm not suffocating her. I must look like I'm always suffocating her. Yeah, I'm secretly. Bye. Go sleep. No, I'm joking. She's look, she's here. She's definitely she's chilling. She's with us. She's just it's that stage of baby life where everything wakes them up. But apparently not the mower.
We do have a mower running now.
I can hear the mower. If you guys can hear the mower, let us know. I don't think that they can hear the mower. No. Yeah, that's enough rambling. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Okay, bye.
Bye.